morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everybody? Welcome to another episode of Roll Around Find Out. In today's episode, we're going to go and explore the world of Warhammer Fantasy. I mentioned this, quite a few episodes ago now, when I had more ambitious thoughts of completing both a Mythras and a Warhammer Fantasy character sheet in the same evening. Well, my mental capacity was on full display trying to complete a Mythras character sheet with very little experience on it. And that took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to complete. And I even then had a few gaps in the character sheet. I believe I ended that episode by just staring at Warhammer Fantasy saying this would be next. And while not next, it is something I've been wanting to conquer. So, this is not the place to come to for an extensive background on Warhammer Fantasy. I know it is the 4th edition. What little I know, 1st edition, obviously popular enough that it's still around today, at least the game as a whole, Warhammer Fantasy. I believe 2nd edition is what people probably would say is the best iteration of Warhammer Fantasy. I know very little about 3rd edition, and from what I remember, I think ownership changed around, and it I think the rule set was changed around. I don't hear very much about 3rd edition. Again, I'm sure a 5-second Google search could answer the question. But here we are with the 4th edition. I purchased the Player's Handbook quite a few months ago. And if you've listened to probably any other episode, you'll know that I like this because it is a roll under system, specifically a D100 system. I've got the Amazon link up here. It is $53. I would say compared to Dungeons and Dragons, which has a much larger publishing company behind it, this is definitely a more expensive game to get into than Dungeons and Dragons. Most books, I think, sell for anywhere from $25 to $30 for Dungeons and Dragons, thanks to the Amazon discount. If you go to your friendly local game store, I'm sure they're all $50. Let me see if I can find the... Yep, it is $59.99 on the back of the book. So, full retail if you go to your, again, friendly neighborhood gaming store. And also, the supplement books we're going to get into here tend to be, on average, higher than that of D&D. Now, again, not an expert, but the things that drew me to Warhammer Fantasy, roll under, D100, check. Those are the two big ones. Number 2, B, would be the just allure of Warhammer. I know nothing about its probably more popular Warhammer 40K, the futuristic miniature battle game. I don't think the Dungeon Master's Guide does a great job of this. It's in there from what I remember, nothing crazy, but Warhammer Fantasy here, they really build in the lore of Reichland. They give you maps, they give you histories, they give you politics. Like, this is a campaign setting for sure. If you want to really, like, all of the opportunity is there to just become super immersed in the lore of Warhammer Fantasy, which is all super cool. And I will say, we're going to get into character creation here. I have made a character before. I've got it in there, but I didn't finish it. And it was probably 6 to 8 months ago. So there's no way I'm going to look at that and go, oh yeah, that's right, I remember doing it this way. I have paper copies here in front of me, and that's the way I would prefer to do this, and maybe I'll have to switch. But I did find a form fillable character sheet. So if I can do it all on here, that'll make whatever I'm doing slightly more entertaining for you to watch, but it's mostly going to be me flipping back and forth through the book. So you're going to hear a lot of page slapping, page turning, things like that. Okay, now, from what I understand, which is very little, this is a grim fantasy world, and magic, while it does exist, is not as prevalent. Oh, the art. What page am I on? If you have this, right near the beginning, page 8 and 9, there's a dwarf that looks like me, basically. I think he's got a famous name. He's on the cover. I think he's been on the cover of all of them. Gives you a little history. The borders of the glorious empire of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Karl Franz I are the impenetrable plate armor he has erected to protect his people. I could go on and on. Yeah, they're giving you little shots of the Reichland, what it's like. Well done, Warhammer. Now, I'm contemplating selling this because, just like Mithras, I'm never going to bring this to my table. Shouldn't say never, right? 39 years old. Probably got another 39 left in me. But who knows? We'll see. All right. Creating a character starts on page 24. Let me get a little drink. We're going to be in for the long one, boys. Okay, lots of words on here. Do you think I'm going to read them? Doubt it. Is this going to be exciting for you to listen to me read how to make a character? I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. All of the information describing your character's abilities is recorded on a character sheet. We provide ready-made characters and sheets in the WFRP starter set, which I do also own. I was at a shop, and it was on their Dinged and Dented discount sale. And maybe I should start with there, but I'm not going to. Using ready-made characters is a great way to start playing and find out how the game works. But sooner or later, you'll want to create your own from the ground up. If you're choosing a ready-made character, it's still worth looking through this chapter, as it will explain the different parts of the character sheet, explain what the different parts of the character sheet mean, especially the summary on page 44. Well, let me make a little note of the summary, 44, because maybe I will need that. Okay, creating a character. The first thing you'll need is a blank character sheet. Well, I've got it up here on my computer. All right. The summary. Species, class and career, attributes, skills and talents, trappings, adding detail, party, bringing your character to life, and advancement. On page 24, There's a really small little table here, and it gives you a breakdown of basically all the things that matter, which I can appreciate. Oh, anyways, hang on. Back it up. Talking about grim fantasy, I got distracted by something. In Mithras, I wanted to create, arguably, the hardest character to create, which was a spell user, which I'm still miffed about. Upon research, I wanted to know how many spells can my character have. And in my research, it was, well, it's GM specific. Is your setting high fantasy, low fantasy? If it's high fantasy, you get 5 spells. If it's low fantasy, you get 2 spells. And I was like, what the F? Okay. Here we go. Species. Number 1. Your character will be a human, dwarf, halfling, high elf, or wood elf. They are described below to help you choose, where you will also find some typical opinions each species has of the other. Alternatively, you can roll 1d100, consult the random species table, and gain plus 20 XP if you accept the results. Now, I've complained about this before. Oh, hang on. Oh, I was about to yell at it and say, don't you dare tell me about XP before you explain it. Well, I skipped a paragraph. Here we go. In some sections, you can either choose an option or accept the result of a dice roll to make the choice for you. You may receive bonus experience points for choosing to accept random outcomes, as if the dark gods of chaos themselves applaud your acceptance of random chance. XP represents learning from experience and are the principal way to improve your abilities. You will be able to spend these points to enhance your character's abilities. XP are covered in more detail in advancement on page 43. Remember, the summary is on page 44. Okay, well, let's spice it up. Let's go by chance. I think I would want a high elf for a magic user. I think I got distracted as well again. In Mithras, I made a magic user, and that's kind of what I want to use here. However, I believe it's not really a thing. I think they have a grimoire, a book of spells, and so we will see when we get to class and career. All right. Roll dice, the only one that matters. Now, D20 is not always the best here, but I'm going to roll 2 D10s. The first one on the left will be the 10s position, and the second one will be the 1s position. Here we go. 27. All right, 27 means I am a human. Something interesting, it really, right off the bat, gives you a taste of the world. You roll a D100. 1 through 90 is human. You have a 90% chance of human. So, what do you think the world is primarily filled with? Then you have a 3% chance of halfling, a 3% chance of a dwarf, a 1% chance of a high elf, and a 1% chance of a wood elf. So me saying right off the bat, yeah, I probably should be a high elf. Not too many of them in the world. Okay, so I will be a human. So we'll go back to my character sheet. And let's find species. Human. I need a different setup. How does anybody do this? Okay. Looking through my book here, I do want to read what a high elf is, the benefits here. High elves are relatively common sight on the rivers of Reichland, Both Altdorf and Newlin boasts sizable districts populated by blah, 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 tall and slender, blah. I want to know mechanics. Okay, well, at least in the description, it doesn't really give me any mechanical benefits. Just like history and what they feel, their opinions on other races. Let's see, what do they think about humans? A high elf thinks humans, Reichlander humans, are corrupt, jealous, and rapacious in their short-lived hungers. But when mindful of their petty needs and their fear of what we represent, they are easily shaped. Interesting. Okay. Species is number 1. Great. So now I have 20 XP. Where do I mark that down? Additional notes. Height, eyes, class, blah, blah, blah. Experience, current. I have 20 XP. Perfect. Okay, starting on page 30. Class and career. Your class determines your general place in society. Your career describes your current job and determines your status, which also influences how much money you earn. You can simply choose your class and career from the options below. Write them down on your character sheet and move on to step 3. Alternatively, if you are unsure which to choose, just want to randomly select for bonus XP, do the following. Okay. Now, random class and career table. We've got lots of classes. Academics, burghers, courtiers, peasants, rangers, riverfolk, rogues, warriors. So probably, I see wizard right here under academics. Okay, so I'm going to negate the XP bonus. This is already, even though I only have species that I'm human, this is already going faster than Mithras. All right, my class. My social class is I'm an academic or an acadynamic. Oh my god. Okay. My career. Do I just pick a career? Okay, I'm confused. I think this is a progression. Human. 1. It says human, apothecary 1, engineer 2, lawyer 3, nun 4 and 5, physician 6, priest 7 through 11, scholar 12 through 13, wizard 14. Well, what does that mean? Is that my level? Can't be. Can't go from a lawyer to a wizard. Class summary. Choose one of the 8 classes. Okay, academic. Let's read academic because that's me. Learned people who use their education to make a living. Often, academics are the only characters who can read and write. They start with low status, but can secure important positions if they advance through the ranks. Career options: apothecary, engineer, lawyer, nun, physician, priest, scholar, wizard. Now, I will say, compared to D&D, I like I don't know if they're subclasses. I'm not sure, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. There are 64 different careers you can have, which that's an ish number, which to me is very customizable. I think that's pretty sweet. Now, D&D does have backgrounds, and I don't know how many backgrounds there are, but I like this system better. Okay. I've got my class. And then... Okay, I don't know what to do next after that. Career. Choose one of your class's career restricted by your species. Once your class is established, choose one of the careers associated with it. There are 8 careers in each class, but some are restricted by species. Full descriptions of each career and their restrictions are given in Chapter 3, Class and Careers, but for quick reference, refer to Random Class and Career table to see a complete list. Okay, all right, I just choose. I'm a human. So... Okay, so because I'm human, it just says the number 14 for wizard. I don't know what that means. Dwarf, there's just a little dash. So dwarfs can't be wizards. Halfling, dash. Halflings can't be wizards. High elf for wizard is 13 through 16. Wood elf, 2 through 5. What the heck does this mean? Okay. So I'm just going to read this here. If I were to do it randomly, roll 1d100 on the random class and career table. If you don't like the results, move to step 2. I don't know, what is this, even step 1? If you keep the result, gain 50 XP. Roll twice more on the table, bringing your total to 3 choices. If one of the 3 now suits you, select one and gain 25 XP. Choose your class and career, or keep re-rolling on the table until you get something you like. There is no XP bonus for this. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to roll. Oh, now I get it. That's the number I have to roll. Oh, I wish you could see this, but you can't. So it's literally numbered starting with 1. It's divided between 2 pages, which I don't know if I would have noticed. If I roll a 1, yeah, okay. If I roll a 1, I'm an apothecary. If I roll a 2, I'm an engineer. Okay, so let's just see what I would get. Roll 1d100 on the random class and career. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So my goal is to roll a 14 on this first number. Roll 1d100. Yes. 14, 66. Damn it. So that would mean I am a river woman. Right? Wasn't planning on being a woman. Not that I'm against that. Okay, I don't like it, so I go on to 2. Roll twice more on the table. Roll. 75. That could be a bod. B-A-W-D. A bod. Okay. Now, as an example, I do not know what a bod is. So I'm going to go to chapter. Okay. Class and career, page 46. Apothecary. All right, here they are. Not in alphabetical order. Great. They must be divided by... They must be divided by... Let's see. Agitator. They are divided by class. So I have to go to rogues. Quarters. Hang on. Spy. Ooh, these take up a lot of pages. Rangers. Riverfolk. Almost a rogues. Rogues. Bod. All right. What is a BAWD? BAWD. Streetwise and mercenary. You make a living selling illicit goods in the seedier side of town. I wish you could see a picture of this guy. BODs guide folks to establishments offering a variety of illegal and immoral services. Though many humans and dwarfs have objections to such activities, most halflings and high elves are quite matter of fact about drug dens, brothels, or other house of vice. Here's the grim, dark aspect of it. Like, you're never going to see brothels in a D&D story. Okay, interesting. And then it's got a whole table and chart of things that I probably need to know about that. Okay, I've got my class and my career. So let's update my sheet. Career. Career. I'm a wizard, Harry. All right, sweet. I am a human academic wizard. Okay, do I know what career path is? No, I do not. But, all right. Once your class is established, academic, choose one of the careers associated with it. Yep. Wizard, got it. Okay. Attributes. Determine each of your attributes by referring to the attribute table. All right, I see a human table. Weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness. Okay, so is this here? Characteristics, right here. All right. WS. That must be weapon skill. BS. That must be ballistic skill. S for strength. All right. Initial advancement current. Okay. All right. It's getting there. Let's see if I can just pick one. This is where a pre-made character, obviously you're instantly done. Right? All right, your 10 characteristics are used in tests to determine if you perform an action successfully. The human average for these attributes is 30. Those who are gifted or well practiced may achieve scores of over 40. Only the most dedicated and experienced will achieve scores over 60. Of course, other species have their own strengths and weaknesses, so their averages are different. Sometimes significantly so. And I guess the balance of that is there's not many in the world, right? So, okay, so I guess I got to do a bunch of rolling here. And we'll this here. Okay, here we go. We'll just go down the line. Roll 2d10. So we got 13 plus 20 makes an initial of 33. Roll again. Let's see, I'm plus 20 for all of this. So 32. 37. 36. 32. I thought I was supposed to be in the 40s, bro. 36. Keep going. Intelligence. 30. Oh, that was dexterity. Thank God. That's my lowest. Is that my lowest one yet? Yeah, okay. Intelligence. Well, if I'm a wizard, probably... freaking jinxed myself. Intelligence, as a wizard's my lowest stat. There's got to be an inherent boost in that. Willpower. Roll. 32. And fellowship. 33. Okay, so you probably already know this, but At its core, at its base level, if I want to do any of these things, I have to roll under. So there's a 66%, 67% chance I miss here. There's a 68% chance that I miss there. So at its core right now, pretty low. Pretty low chances on that. All right, last one on here is wounds, and it looks like I need a degree in advanced math to figure this out. So, all right, my wounds is SB. What's SB? WSBS, STIAG, Dex, Int, Whip, Fell. What's my SB? Wounds. Your wounds show how much damage you can endure. Okay, determining wounds. Okay, let me say. Compared to Mithras, it was like you had to jump all over the book to find information. Tells me what wounds are. Right, next paragraph, titled beautifully, Determining Wounds. Unlike other attributes, wounds are derived from your strength bonus, twice your toughness bonus, and willpower bonus, abbreviated to SBTB WPB on the attributes table. Refer to the attributes table to determine the characteristic bonus used to calculate your wounds. Note, halflings have the small talent automatically and start with fewer wounds. Back to the math equation. I don't know what determines a bonus. So we're going to just skip that for now if I can. If I move back, you probably heard me say, oh, my intelligence is my lowest stat. Well, that's not good for a wizard. So there's a little side table here that says, wait, that's not fair. And it says, you may notice that not all characters are created equal. An elf has significant characteristic advantages, for example. Don't be deceived by the numbers alone. There are many aspects to character generation, and all species have advantages and disadvantages at each stage. Some of them not always obvious. Okay, well, that's all great, but still not happy with it. So when I read and don't just assume, it says here, roll 2d10 for each of the 10 characteristics and make a note of the results. If you feel your character would be improved if you swapped around some of the dice roll results between your characteristics, move to the next step. If you stick with your random results, add the die rolls to the modifier for each characteristic. Add the die rolls to the modifier. Okay, modifier is plus 20. Write them down and gain 50 XP. Great. The next step says, rearrange the 10 numbers rolled under step 1, assigning each to a different characteristic and adding its modifier. If you're happy with the new mix, record them on your character sheet and gain 25 experience. If not, move on to the next step. Or step 3 is a point buy system, at least what I believe a point buy system is. If you're still not happy with the results, either roll again and swap the rolls around with no XP bonus, or you could ignore the dice completely. Instead, allocate 100 points across the 10 characteristics as you prefer, with a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 18 allocated to any single characteristic. Add the modifiers from the attribute table and record them on your character sheet. Like rolling again, there is no XP bonus for this option. Okay. I had a little glitch. My recording just seemed to stop on me. So I kind of already did this. I'm not sure how the video is going to lay out, but I swapped my intelligence and my strength because my strength was 37 for my wizard build. I don't think I really want that. And then that gave me an extra 25 experience points. So we're up to 45 experience points. Then, I'm not sure where my video and audio cut out, but I figured out what wounds is. And because something I'm terrible at called reading, in the book, I was looking for what a bonus is. And after all of the characteristics, there's a paragraph that says everything I need. And basically, every characteristics tens number, for me, it's all 3s and 2s. 1, 2. Yep. That becomes the bonus. So, if I break it down, let's go. Sorry, I'm just a little confused as to what I did and haven't done. My wounds is actually on the second page. My strength, when I rearranged my numbers, I went from a 30 number to a 20 number. So now it's my strength bonus is a 2. My toughness is a 3. So my toughness is in the 30s, excuse me. So my bonus is a 3, and then just per the game, it says multiplied by 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then my willpower is a 30 number. So my bonus is a 3, which means my wounds are currently at 11. Now, there's a hardy spot here, but I believe that is a talent or something that we will deal with later. So currently, my wounds is 11. Basically, 11 hit points. That's my understanding. Okay, next whole section here. When I read in order, fate and fortune, resilience, and resolve. Your fate represents your destiny, and it is directly tied to your fortune, a measure of your luck. Your resilience is your inner strength, which is directly related to your resolve, defining your grit. Your resilience also comes with a motivation, which is a single word or phrase describing what drives your character forwards. See page 170 for more on all of these. Now, when my audio glitched out, I read this the first time and I thought, what? Fortune, fate, resolve, strength, grit? I don't know, but I got it. And these numbers, they just give it to me because I'm a human, and so I just left it at that. My fate here was 3, and for some reason, it auto-populated my fortune was 3. Same thing for my resilience. I typed in 3, and it auto-populated my resolve to 3. These are things I don't have a solid understanding in, but basically, I think there's a bonus that I add in certain situations, and let's see, what is it? Fate is my luck, and let's see. I don't know when those come into play. If like the GM calls for them, it says how you determine them, and that I understand, but not when to use them in the game. So that's a gray area I have. Okay. Motivation. All characters choose a motivation. It represents your character's core essence, a word or phrase that sums up what you live for. In addition to the obvious role-playing benefits for portraying your character, motivation is used to help you regain resolve points. Resolve is my grit. Okay, resolve points. When considering your motivation, think of something that is fundamental to your character's nature. Also try to make your motivation something fun to roleplay, and something that will work well with the other PCs and their motivations. So they give you 3 examples, which I really appreciate. I'll read the first one here. Gustavaz, a young scholar at the university in Altdorf, has thrill seeker for his motivation. He lives his life in pursuit of excitement and danger, and Gustavaz may regain resolve points when he actively seeks out risky situations. Perhaps he provokes antagonism in taverns or deliberately breaks the law by stealing the feathers and caps of state soldiers. Well, I do actually kind of like that. Let's see if there's a table that we can... Other examples include a perfectionist, a nurturer, penitent martyr, shining wit, who's ever engaging in witty badinage and banter to lighten the mood. If you can't think of a motivation, don't worry. One may arise as you create more of your character, and other players and the GM will always help. Even if you do have one, it's possible you may change your mind later. Okay, so I'm kind of rolling with, I kind of like this, not thrill seeker in the terms of like extreme sports thrill seeker, but some kind of like instigator. That's probably what I'm looking for, an instigator. Okay. It's this book, I will say, laid out much better than Mithras. When you actually like follow through the steps, it like all makes sense. So that's great. Just making sure this stuff's all good to go. I think so. Okay. So next one is skills and talents. Turning the page. Because I am a human, a Reichlander, I am given 12 skills to pick from. 3 of them will get a 5-point bonus, and 3 of them will get a 3-point bonus. Now, this I already did when my thing glitched out. This was the last thing that I did. And so I'll go through the talents here. Excuse me, the skills. I'm not sure the difference between skills and talents. But they are different. Skills: animal care, charm, cool, evaluate, gossip, haggle, language, Bretonian, language, wastelander, leadership, lore, Reichland lore, melee, basic, ranged, bow. Those are the skills. And then the talents are doomed, savvy, or suave, or 3 random talents. So we'll get into talents here in a little bit. Okay, so I went through my character. I don't think I finished, but I want charm to be, is it an advanced skill? You may choose 3 skills to gain 5 advances in, and 3 skills to gain 3 advances in. Okay, so I have charm, I have cool, and then I went on a little bit of a rant here for evaluate. Evaluate is on my beginner list here. However, it is not, let's see, it is not on my character sheet. These are in alphabetical order, and evaluate is not on here. So I kind of blew up and I said, this is dumb. How dare you give me a skill and it not be on my skills list? So I went to the back of the book. I went to the index. I found evaluate. And then all of these skills here in a different section of the book, they're listed alphabetically and they give you a description of them, and it said that this was an advanced skill. Now, do I know what makes it an advanced skill? No, I do not, but it told me the characteristic that was its base, and I chose that as my 5 point bonus. Okay, so now let's look at the 3 skills I want to give a 3 advancement to. I'm not sure if I put these in the right place, if they're skill or advancement, but I can move those later. Okay. So I've got charm, cool, and evaluate. I went into a rant about languages, and it's kind of a feel bad if I pick a language and I don't know the setting, I don't know what my game master is doing, and it's kind of like a ranger in 5th edition. If you pick favored terrain as desert and you never ever or rarely go to the desert, then that's a really big feel bad. So I would leave these up to, well, I don't know. We'll change some later. So animal care, I don't really care about an animal. Gossip, I kind of like. Haggle, I kind of like. And then there's melee and ranged. I feel like I probably should up my combat. I don't think, being especially that it's grim fantasy, that I'll be casting spells every turn. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure I need a spell book in my hand. So I guess I'm going to go melee, basic, and maybe I'll change that later. But I'm kind of thinking I want a dagger. It's just a small knife, which is counterintuitive because I don't want to get up close. But, you know, I'm learning. So, okay, there's that. Then I feel like haggle I like for 3. And let's do gossip for 3. Okay, so those are my 6 skills that are advanced. Now my talents: doomed, savvy, or suave. I'm not sure if there's a difference. Or 3 random talents. Let's see if I can find what talents mean. Let's see. If a talent listing presents a choice, so savvy or suave, you select one talent from the choice given. Any random talents are determined by the random talent table. So I could do 3 random ones. If you roll a talent you already have, you may re-roll. Note, all characters assumed to be... okay, so I get doomed, savvy, or suave, and then 3 random. Okay, so where are my talents? Okay, right here, doomed. I don't know the difference between savvy or suave. So it says 124 for more info, so let's go there. Not seeing suave. Set trap, sleight of hand, stealth, swim, track. Oh, okay, I don't think I went far enough. Talents. Okay, this is me learning the book. I don't know. All right, I have savvy or suave. Savvy, you gain a permanent +5 bonus to your starting intelligence characteristic. This does not count toward your advances. Okay, well, that I think is good for wizards. Or suave. Suave is alphabetically on the next page. You gain a permanent +5 to your fellowship characteristic. Well, pretty sure I want the first one, but I want to look up what fellowship is. All the way back on page 34. Your ability to get on with people. This, I'm 99% sure this is a game from Britain, from England. And I mean, that is your ability to get on with people and come across as generally pleasant. Okay, well, that's good for role playing, but I definitely think I need savvy. Okay, and then 3 talents. So let's roll with a 33. We have linguistics. Okay, I like that. Because I didn't pick any for skills for languages. I have a 10 would be 0 on here, right? So 3. Acute sense. Any one, it says. Acute sense. So smell, taste, hearing. We'll see. We'll pick one later. And one more. 87 gets me suave. Okay. I guess I have to take it. Okay, so I guess savvy and suave, which is good because I was role-playing wise, I think that might be good for my character. Let's see. Okay. Career skills and talents. Now turn to your career chapter 3 class and careers. You begin at the first career level listed in your career path. There are 8 skills and 4 talents listed with that level. You can choose which of these you are most proficient at. Allocate 40 advances to your 8 starting skills. Holy jeez. With no more than 10 advances allocated to any single skill at this stage. This is enough for you to add 5 advances to every career skill if you wish, which is one of the required steps to complete your career if you wish to move to a new one. Changing careers, okay? You may also choose a single talent to learn. Okay, well, let's go to... What does it say? Go to your career in chapter 3. Okay, so let me find... Wizard was alphabetically one of the first ones I remember. Ooh, rat catcher. Wizard. Here we go. On page 60. That dude is pretty sweet looking. Okay, so looking at this, I am very intimidated by what I'm looking at. There are symbols, words, things I just don't know what to do. Okay, this is wizard, high elf, human, or wood elf. Okay, I'm on the right page. Ooh, feared and distrusted by the citizens of the empire. You legally wield powerful and dangerous magic. Ooh, I like that. Okay, my career path. Brass 3. All right, let me go back. I'm starting to sweat. There are things going on that I don't know. You begin at the first career level. Well, what is that? Is that must be apprentice, a wizard's apprentice, a wizard, a master wizard, and a wizard lord. Brass 3, silver 3, gold 1, gold 2? Yeah, don't know what any of that means. Okay. I'm starting to sweat. There are 8 skills and 4 talents listed with that level. Let's check. Skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I must have missed one. Channeling, dodge, intuition. Oh, yeah, language. I missed language. Okay. And 4 talents listed with that level. You can choose which of these you are most proficient at. Allocate 40 advances to your 8 starting skills, with no more than 10 advances allocated to any skill. Okay, so I think, again, I put these in the wrong place. No, I don't think so. This says allocate 40 advances. Okay. Let's read it. And there's an example. I'll read the example too. There are 8 skills and 4 talents listed with that level. Confirmed. And you can choose which of these you are most proficient at. Allocate 40 advances to your 8 starting skills. Okay. I don't know what channeling is. And that sounds pretty important. So, let's go to the index. Channeling on page 120. That sounds like the way to cast spells. The channeling skill measures your ability to call upon and control the various winds of magic, and is solely used by the magic rules. Channeling is a special skill in that it is both grouped, allowing for specializations, and also ungrouped for those not properly trained to channel magic. No idea. Specializations: Akshi, Ezer, Chaman, Dower, Gur, Girin, Heish, Shaish, Ulgu. Each is a different wind of magic. See Chapter 8, Magic, for more on this. Yikes. Okay. Okay, so that is important. So let's go back. Allocate 40 advances to your starting skills with no more than 10. Okay, well, I definitely want 10 to my channeling. Basic skills, no channeling. So I'm going to go to my advanced channeling, and I give it 10 advances. Okay. Any color? I don't know what that means. So we'll figure that out later. Dodge. I would like to dodge attacks. Yeah. What's my dex at? Not great. Okay. So that would help. Intuition, language, melee, polearm melee, perception. Okay, so I've already used 10. And I get how many? 40? Okay. Let's go 10 for dodge. 10 advancements. And lore, magic. I don't know what that means, but probably important. I'm going to give myself 10 for that. I'll fill in the characteristic stat, probably intelligence, later. Channeling and lore and dodge, that's 30. So I got 10 left. Let's go 5 for basic melee and 5 for perception. Okay, am I doing that right? I don't know. Okay. Allocate 40 advances to your 8 starting skills with no more than 10 advances allocated to any single skill at this stage. If this is enough for you to add 5 advancements to every career skill if you wish, which is one of the required steps to complete your career if you wish to move to a new one. Okay. So I don't know about my talents. Do I just keep going down the list here? I'm going to. Aetheric. That is spelled incredibly wrong. Attunement. No idea what it does. Petty magic. I think those are cantrips. Read and write. Followed by second sight. Sounds cool, whatever that is. Okay. Trappings. I see this is on the next thing here. Let me move my book. Summary. Determine your initial trappings from your class and career. Your trappings are the equipment, clothes, weapons, and other items your character carries. You begin play with initial trappings determined by your class and your career. If you want to buy more or sell what you already have, refer to Chapter 11. All your trappings should be recorded in the relevant sections on your character sheet. Once you've done this, move on to 6, adding detail. Let's see. Class trappings. Your character begins play with general trappings determined by your class. Reference your class in the list below and jot the trappings into your character sheet. Rolling dice where required. Okay, trappings. Oh no, I lost my page. I thought I put a pencil in it, but I did not. Now I did. Okay, trappings here says grimoire and a quarterstaff. So I bet trappings are on the next page. Sure are. Okay. I have a grimoire, which is my spell book. Grimoire and my quarterstaff. Okay, then I go back because I'm an academic. I have clothing. I have... Ooh, a dagger. Good. I have a pouch. Sling bag containing... Let's see, lots of stuff. Writing kit. I hope this resizes and shrinks. A writing kit. 1d10 sheets of parchment. Okay, I'll use the first dice here. 2, great. Writing kit with 2 pieces of paper. Did it resize? No. Let's see, writing kit, 2 paper. BPR. Okay. Probably not going to remember what that means later. Career trappings. Every career has a list of trappings for each of its 4 levels. You begin play with all the trappings listed in the first level of your career path. Find the appropriate trappings in Chapter 3. Okay, I did that. That was the Grimoire and Quarterstaff. Next, find your character's status, which is listed beside your career level's name. Okay, which was Brass 3. Okay, it's all coming together now. It will be marked as either brass, silver, or gold, which is your status tier, followed by a number, which is your standing. Your status tier and standing determine your initial wealth, as shown below. So if you were perfect. So if you were brass 3, you would start with 6d10 brass pennies. Oh, you multiply it by 3. You multiply the D by 3. This money can be used to purchase more trappings or saved for spending during play. The relative worth of the coins is covered in Chapter 11 Consumer's Guide. Okay, so I get, what was it? 6d10 per status level. And I must be, let me get it right. Oh yeah, per status level, and I have 3. So okay, 6d10. So let's get 6 on here, and then I'm gonna roll it. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll roll it. 21. Okay, I have 21 brass pennies. Where do you think that goes? Class size status. Well, here's status, right? So next, find your status. So brass 3. Fate, resilience, experience. Ooh, I didn't mean to zoom out, but that's helpful. Talents, ambitions, wealth. Okay, here we go. DSSGC. Gold crown, silver shillings, D, brass pennies. Yeah, that makes sense that D is brass pennies. Easy for a new player to figure that out. 21. And they got the whole formula here to figure out conversions, which I will not be reading. Okay, adding detail. There's so many empty spots on here. We can't be close to done. We just can't. Adding detail. Summary. Choose your name, age, hair, and eye color, height, psychology, and ambitions. All right, my name. They're very German names, so let's be Achtung Studa Breaker. Okay, human names, dwarf names, clan names, halfling names, physical details, my age. Average natural lifespan are around 60 for a human, 120 for halfling. Choose your character's age or use the table below. Let's go 19. Height. Average heights for dwarfs, elves, halflings, with humans varying. If you want a truly random upper height for humans, if either roll is a 10, one or more die, and it's a die roll. Okay, it doesn't seem to have a mechanical purpose for that. Eye color table, hair color table. Height. I'm going to say I'm 5'11". Hair, red, brown. Eyes, green. Star sign. I don't see that on here. Ambitions. Ambitions are a character's goals in life, what they want to achieve. All characters have both a short term and long term. Choosing an ambition. Consult with your GM when choosing your ambitions. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on, so let's see. Achieving your ambitions. If you achieve your short-term ambition, you will receive a bonus of 50 XP, and you can choose a new short-term ambition. If you achieve your long-term ambition, you receive either 500 XP, retire your character who becomes an NPC under your GM's control, and gain a bonus of half your earned XP of your current character to spend on your next character. Interesting. Party. Now you have almost finished making your character. You need to consider the other players in your party. Everyone will have more fun when your characters can engage and interact with one another. While some intra-party tension can be enjoyable, it is important you are not constantly at one another's throats. Love to see that. Okay. Bringing your character to life, 10 questions. This is role-playing. Advancement finished. Now your character and party are created. You are ready to play. That is bullshit. What are my spells? What damage does my weapon do? Let's see. I wrote down page 44. That takes us to page 44 in the book, which is the character sheet summary. Not what I want. We are not done. There's no way we're done. How we doing on time, though? We are, I don't know, around the hour and a half mark. Okay. How many spells do I have? What's in my grimoire? If I go to my wizard sheet, how much damage does a dagger do? Is my skills these numbers added up? Fellowship is 33. 33. WP is 32. Agility is 36. WS 33. And I got extra 5 for suave and savvy, right? So this would be 42. And it was intelligence and fellowship. So this would be 38. Okay, so any of my intelligence is 42, which is this here. 42. I'm going to guess these are intelligence too. I don't know what the difference between I and intelligence is. Let's see. I is 32. Am I missing any? Oh, those look good. Okay. Okay, ambitions, there's that. Party ambitions, there's that. Let me zoom out. Movement, I did see movement. Shoot. I skipped over that. Let's go to the index. That was for being a human, I think. Shame on me. Movement. Moving. Movement. 35. Let's see. Movement is used to determine your walk and run speed. Standard human movement is 4. If using a grid for movement, this indicates how many squares you can move in a round or inches across the tabletop. Over the longer term, it indicates how many miles per hour you can comfortably travel on foot. For more on movement, see page 164. Well, my movement is 4. So my walk is 10. And my run is 20. Okay. Size, I don't know. Career tier 1, I think. I think that's what I would call it. Now, these talent descriptions, I'm purposely skipping those. But that's definitely something I would want to write. And I know right where they are. So I would agree and say page 1 is done. Okay, so my clothing. Oh, yeah, psychology. Did I skip psychology? I read that. Okay. Physical details. Bring your character to life. I read psychology. Let's go to the index. Psychology, page 190. If you remember early on, I said you would enjoy listening to me just flip through pages. Our emotions and instincts have a powerful impact on how we react in certain circumstances. These rules bring another level of drama to your game and help bring the old world's inhabitants to life. Psychology test. If you are exposed to one of the following psychological traits, you may resist its effects by passing a cool test. Oh, okay. Psychological traits. Was that from my wizard sheet? Skills, talents, trappings. Okay, they give a ton of traits here. Animosity, fear, frenzy, hatred, prejudice, terror, phobias. Oh, options, psychology. When you are creating your character's story, this is on page 43, you might feel you should have powerful emotions such as love, camaraderie, hatred, etc. towards family members, situations, enemies, or other features of their life. If the GM agrees, you can take a psychology trait. Well, let's see what we got. Animosity, fear, frenzy, hatred, prejudice, terror, trauma, phobia, love, camaraderie. Probably animosity, but I will leave that blank. Okay. Wounds, yep. Health, okay. Encumbrance. Don't know what that means. Weapons, spells, and prayers, additional notes, and armor. Okay, so let's find armor. Let's search that. Let's start with the most basic. Armor. Armor. $2.99 and $3.38. So let's go $2.99. All right. I think this is going to be pretty straightforward, but let's see. Armor. First off, avoid all contact. That's your basic principle. And in case you can't always wear protection. What? Corporal Nobbler, basic combat instructor. Armor damage. As blows rain down on your armor, it can be damaged. Now, this is really crunchy from what I know about it. And unlike D&D, which is essentially hit or miss with your armor class, here you can hit individual pieces of the body. There's, I think, head, both arms, both legs, shield, and the meat of the body. Armor type, location, armor points. Okay, leather jacket, breastplate, plate. Okay, I don't have armor, I guess. Quick armor, packs. I just have clothes, so that must not be. But I want to know, is it just 0? So let me zoom in here if I can. Yep. Okay, so these have numbers, and I think you roll to hit. Yeah. Okay, I don't see that. Can I just search clothes? What does... Ooh, I found colors, so maybe I should go to that. Color magic. 245, okay. ADHD jumping all over the place. 245. Because I didn't pick a color, and maybe it's like, oh, you pick green, which means you get these 5 spells. 245. The following provides 8 lists of 8 spells with 1 list for each color of magic. The Amber Wind, Grr, carries with it a chill primal ferocity that is unnerving with beasts. Okay, I think that's like more or less a druid. The Lore of Death, the Purple Wind of Shaish, carries with it dry, dusty wind and the insistent rustling of sand passing through time's hourglass. Targets afflicted by spells from the Lore of Death are drained of life. Okay, so probably like a necromancer. The Lore of Fire, that one makes sense. The Lore of Heavens. So Lore of Fire is probably a traditional wizard, more or less. Lore of Heavens is paladin cleric territory. The Lore of Metal, the Wind of Shaman, is very dense and quickly attaches itself to metallic substances. Spells from this lore are accompanied with golden light and heat and are especially effective against foes foolish enough to encase themselves in metal. Spells inflicting damage ignore armor points from metal armor. That seems very specific. Like if you want to fight a wolf, you don't have any armor, so are you just boned? Let's look at one of the spells here. Crucible of Shaman. Page 249. You channel Shaman into a single non-magical metallic object, such as a weapon or piece of armor. The item melts, dripping to the floor as molten metal, cooling almost immediately. If held, the item is dropped. If worn, the wearer takes a hit like a magic missile with damage equal to your willpower bonus that ignores toughness. All right, again, pack of wolves attacks you. What is that going to do? Enchant weapon. You encase a single non-magical weapon with heavy bands of Shama, enhancing its potency. For the duration of the spell, it counts as magical, gains a bonus to damage equal to your willpower bonus, and gains the unbreakable quality. See page 298. For every +3 SL, you may also add 1 quality or remove 1 flaw from the weapon while the spell is in effect. Geez, that's a lot going on. The Lore of Life. Spells cast with Girin, the Jade Wind, are suffuse with life, tending to manifest with a vibrant green light, and are often accompanied by natural phenomena given supernatural qualities. Vines, undergrowth, trees, and rivers all bend to the druid's wills. Ooh, it actually says druids there. So let me go back to this first one, the Lore of Beasts. Oh, a shaman. Okay. Slight difference, I would say. The Lore of Shadows. Spells cast from the Lore of Shadows are surreptitious and sly, and so the lingua prestatantia may be muttered stealthily. Any protective spells. Okay, I kind of like this one. Choking Shadows, Doppelganger, Illusion, Mind Slip. Yeah, this is it for sure. That's what I want. Ooh, there's Witch Magic. The following provides 2 lists of spells for spellcasters nor yet absorbed into the colleges of magic who are almost always on the run from witch hunters and Sigmarites. That's racist. Dark Magic. The following provides 2 short lists of 4 dark magic spells. Chaos Magic. Interesting. Okay. So I definitely want the color... The Lore of Shadows. Spells cast from the Lore of Shadows are surreptitious and sly, and so the lingua percentage may be muttered stealthily. Any protective spells you may cast wreath you in shadows and billow smoke, making your body insubstantial, possibly even allowing blades to pass through you seemingly without harm. Further, all spells cast from the Lore of Shadows inflicting damage ignore all non-magical armor points. Ingredients. Anything used to hide, shroud, or conceal is repurposed as gray ingredients, including cosmetics, scents, scarves, spectacles, mirrors, and wigs. Items drawn from professions steeped in intrigue and wisdom are also common, with diplomatic artifacts, symbols of rank, and the ultimate expression of power, a blade prevalent. Okay. Well. Oh yeah, petty spells. I just happened to turn to a random page. Spell lists. Petty spells are listed first, followed by arcane spells, then the 8 elemental lores. Okay, yeah, I have petty spells, don't I? Okay, yeah. I remember this all stemmed from dagger damage. Okay. Petty spells. For the few humans blessed or cursed, depending upon your point of view, with the spark of magic, it generally manifests around puberty and almost always before 25. Before 25 summers have passed. The first indications of impending witchery are often little tricks, snacks, cantrips, or similar, showing the wizard to be should probably be trained for everyone else's safety. For elves, this is just a part of growing up, and those with interest in magic are schooled to develop their burgeoning talents. For humans, assuming they avoid being lynched, it likely means years of training as an apprentice to a wizard from one of the 8 colleges of magic, after which they should never use the little tricks they learned when young again, but most do. As petty spells are not formally codified, they have many different names. Players are encouraged to devise their own, more characterful names reflecting their personality. Okay, then there's a big long list. So, how many do I get? Page 60. Here is the wizard. Wizards channel one of the 8 winds of magic only spellcasters perceive to cast potent spells. To legally cast magic in the Empire, a human must follow the Articles of Imperial Magic and belong to one of the 8 colleges of magic in Altdorf, each dedicated to a specific wind, as wizards can only safely channel one. After graduation, apprentices become wizards and serve the Empire. Interesting. Wizards carefully study and practice their art, which, according to the articles, they can only use outside their colleges in defense of their own life or against the enemies of the Empire. Many wizards are attached to the Empire State Army. Although they are treated with cautious suspicion, none can deny their effectiveness on the battlefield. Many wizards leave the College of Magic in debt for the cost of their tuition. These wizards may be keen to find immediate employment. Wizards, okay, there's no mechanics in here. For more on magic, see Chapter 8, Magic. Let's go to the beginning of magic, and let's skip all the important parts and then complain that there's not the thing I need, and then realize later it's in the thing that I skipped. Okay, the language of magic, the 8 lores, yeah, I got that. Elven magic, dark magic, magic rules, second sight, talent. Do I have that? That sounds familiar, because I think I said it sounded cool. Second sight, there it is. Allows you to perceive the winds of magic and how magic influences the world around you. Second sight affects all your senses, and how it manifests is dependent on the individual experience and training. So where Ekshi may have a hot cinnamon odor to one pyromancer, it could feel like searing ear itches to another. If you have second sight, you may use any appropriate skills with your aetheric senses, most commonly your intuition, to perceive magic. This means the GM may request tests or take tests on your behalf to see if you spot subtle magical details in your surrounding movement, even if you're not looking for them. Okay. There are 4 types of spells: petty, arcane, lore, and chaos. Petty spells are simple tricks that use negligible amounts of magic. Arcane spells are generally spells open to those studying any lore of magic or chaos magic. Lore spells are those you can only learn if you know that lore. To learn spells from the lore of fire, you need the arcane magic talent. Chaos spells are those practiced by those who've lost their souls to chaos. Memorizing spells, holding the complex linguistic structures of language, magic, in mind is a challenging task. So simply transcribing a spell into your grimoire does not allow you to learn a spell. To memorize a spell, and therefore be able to cast it without access to your grimoire, you typically need to spend the amount of XP noted in your spell casting talent. Once the spell has been memorized, a spellcaster knows it permanently, barring special circumstances. Okay. Remember, I wanted the hardest class in the game. Quote unquote hardest. I don't know. I just assume magic users are. Casting test. To cast a spell, make a language magic test. If you succeed, match your SL to the casting number of the spell listed in the individual description. If your SL is equal to or higher than the CN of the spell, it is cast as explained in the spell's description. If failed, the spell attempt fails and nothing happens. Critical casting. If the casting roll is a critical, see page 159, the winds of magic have flared dangerously high, granting you extra power, but at a cost. Unless you have the instinctive dictation talent, you roll on the minor miscast table as the power moves beyond your control, but you may also choose one of the following effects. Critical cast, total power, unstoppable force. Fumbled casting, duration, grimoires. Magic missiles. Some spells are marked as magic missiles. These are damage-causing spells that all follow the same rules. When a magic missile is successfully cast and targets another character, the hit location struck is determined by reversing the dice rolled on the language magic test and referring to the hit location table. The SL of the language magic test is added to the spell's listed damage and your willpower bonus to determine the total inflicted damage. This damage is reduced by the target's toughness and armor points as normal. Okay, that's a lot of words I just read. And I will say, I believe that's kind of how spells in Mithras worked. It was kind of like the level of the spell and your roll. All right, we're getting there. I don't necessarily want to go over the rules. I just want to make a character, but I'm not necessarily seeing like how many do I get. Petty spells or cantrips, as the colleges often prefer to call them, use minuscule amounts of whatever winds are around and are often learned instinctively by spellcasters as their talent first manifests. As such, once their training within the colleges has begun, wizards rarely learn new petty spells. Technically, they are classed as witchcraft and thus illegal in the Empire. All right, again, how many do I get? Yeah, okay, got the lore of shadows. Great. The lore of witchcraft. Okay, great. Dark magic. Yep. Then we go to the Game Master section. So if I'm in the lore of... Okay, hang on. Yeah, these are the schools of magic. But the petty are its own separate thing. So if I'm in a school, do I just instantly get all 8 spells? Choking Shadows, Doppelganger, Illusion, Mind Slip, Mystifying, Miasma, Shadow Steed. I'm going to cheat because now I'm getting a little frustrated. How many spells Warhammer Fantasy Wizard? Do wizards start with spells? I'm new to the system, and I was reading the wizard career, and I couldn't find anything indicating they get any spells other than the petty magic talent. What? I'm on page 60. Channeling, dodge. Oh yeah, talents, petty magic. Okay, so where do I find talents again? I'll get real lucky if it's here. Petty magic. You have the spark to cast magic within you, and you have mastered techniques to control it at a basic level. When you take this talent, you manifest and permanently memorize a number of. Thank you. Now, no, not in my defense. Shame on me. I said I would come back and write these descriptions later. Well, I should have done it when I made this. I got lazy. Okay. When you take this talent, you manifest and permanently memorize a number of spells equal to your willpower bonus. You can learn extra petty spells for the following cost in XP. So, if your willpower bonus is 3, you had 3 petty spells, it will cost you... Okay, that's if I want to level up. Okay. My willpower... Maybe I want to switch my willpower and my intelligence. If I took the time to read this, maybe I know willpower is more spell casting than intelligence is. Okay, regardless, okay, I have 3 petty spells. So, spells and prayers, I'm just going to write that I have 3 petty, because I don't want to go through the list and figure that all out. Okay, now back to the internet. Should be apprentice wizards have to find everything themselves? Is it more of a player and GM working through those details out? That's what Mithras was, and that was stupid. Me personally, I thought I hated it. A grimoire typically contains 4 spells or 1 ritual. Why is that? Winds of Magic 164. Let's go to page 164. I do have a grimoire, but I did not look up what it was. I just assumed. Page 164. This is about advantage in moving. So... Oh, you know what? Winds of Magic. Let me go here. Warhammer Fantasy. Winds of Magic. I thought... Let me try this. I thought it was in a separate book. Yeah. I think the rules for magic are in a different book. This is a lot of words, but let's see. From the shattered warp gates at the poles of the blah, 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 blah. Each of the 8 lores of magic taught. Rules are provided for rituals, complicated spells, details of the magical sites, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go back to the internet. Work with your GM to figure out what is in your grimoire. Thank you, buddy. Fact. That may answer some questions. Wizard's Apprentice start with a grimoire, and you can try and cast from them. It's usually very hard and is mostly there for options and being the school book for the apprentice. Petty magic is the secure early game magic, considering making a master wizard. Okay, blah, blah, blah. As a starting winning wizard apprentice, you can choose your free talent to be petty magic and automatically memorize a number of petty magic spells equal to your willpower bonus. So that was in the book that I skipped. If you want to learn additional petty magic, yeah, okay, that's good. Upon completing your career level and continuing to wizard, you have the capability through XP to gain arcane magic. Okay, so let me go to my wizard. Talents, petty magic. Ah, yes. When I upgrade to from a wizard's apprentice to a wizard, I gain the talent of arcane magic. Okay, let's go. Like, I just know in the D&D book, I know that weapons and armor are like in the 140s, 150s. I've got it posted note id for like spells, skills, and talents. Okay, here we go. Hopefully. Arcane magic. You either study one of the 8 arcane lores of magic, beast, death, fire, heavens, metal, shadow, light, or life, or practice a lesser known lore such as hedgecraft or necromancy. You may now memorize spells from your chosen lore for the following costs in XP. Number of spells currently known, up to intelligence bonus times 1. So if your intelligence bonus is 4, it will cost you 100 XP for the first spell. Okay. Number of spells currently known, up to intelligence bonus times 1. So if my bonus is 4, it will cost you 100 XP for the first spell, and the next 4, then 200 XP for the next 4, and so on. Full rules for learning new spells are provided in Chapter 8 Magic. Under normal circumstances, you may not learn more than 1 arcane magic lore talent. Further, you may not learn the bless or invoke talents when you have the arcane magic talent. Okay, I don't understand the XP cost, but it does show that you can buy your spells. Unlike D&D where you just level up and you just arbitrarily get a new set of spells for a new level, or the ones you currently have, you can just know one more or so. So I like this system a lot. Okay. So I know that I start with 3 petty spells. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So magic is basically solved. Now, I didn't pick my spells, but like I said, I'm not going to. So now I want weapons. Because now I'm going to go back to my dagger. Weapon, 343. Weapon damage, 296. Okay, let's bookmark that. Let's go weapon. Weapons. Here we go. Melee weapons. A dagger. Hand weapon. Improvised weapon. A dagger. Price 16/- Encumbrance 0. Availability common. Reach very short. Damage plus SB +2. Okay, let's go back to my character sheet. I'll full screen it. Plus SB +2. What's SB? Tell me. I want to know. Plus SB. I'm going to just keep saying it till I figure it out. Strength bonus +2. I don't roll for it? Interesting. Okay. Let's go to weapon damage, 296. Hand weapon is used to describe any number of basic weapons that, though different, are assumed to be effectively the same in-game, including swords, axes, hammers, maces, short spears, and more. Ooh, black powder. Blunderbusses are the only weapons listed that use the small shot or improvised shot ammunition. So you can have guns in here. That's cool. Oh, they mechanically have something for very short. It is less than a foot in length. They have optional rules for weapon length. I like that. Unlike D&D, which is so basic. Some fumble... Okay, weapon damage, page 296. Some fumble results, see page 160, or spells may damage your weapon. Oh, I don't want that. I want dealing how weapons work. Weapon flaws, shield rating. Let's see if they have a section for combat. Combat summary. Page 156. Attacking. Okay, here we go. Hopefully. One of the most common actions is to attack an opponent. To make a ranged attack, your weapon must be in range and your target visible in line of sight. For melee attacks, you must be adjacent to your target with a weapon ready. Number 1, roll the hit. To attack, perform an opposed melee test with your opponent. Both you and your opponent test your melee skill. Whoever scores the highest SL wins. Shoot. What is SL? Success levels. Shoot, I skipped over that before. Whoever scores the highest SL wins. If you win the test, you hit your opponent and gain +1 advantage. If you lose the opposed test, your opponent gains +1 advantage and your action is finished. Okay, determining hit locations. If you successfully hit, find out where. Reverse the roll to hit and compare the number to the hit location. So, a roll of 23 to hit become 32 on the table, a hit on the right arm. Okay. Determining damage. Once you have determined the hit location, it is time to work out how much damage you deal. Each weapon has a weapon damage characteristic. See page 293, which I think I was on. Determining damage. Here we go. This is usually your modified strength bonus for melee weapons or a fixed number for ranged weapons. Take the SL of your opposed test and add it to the weapon damage of the weapon you're using. This final number is your damage. Oh, okay, so you do have a rolled aspect of it. The SL, the success level, which my brain is starting to melt and not going to comprehend what that is, but it is SL, and this is why it says plus first in the book, SL plus your strength bonus, which for me, I think is 2, +1. Okay. So, again, success level, that is... I don't care to figure that out right now, but I have figured out my... how much damage I deal with a dagger. Okay, great. I have 0 armor, so these, I think the number you would put in here is your damage reduction, so I don't have any damage reduction, and I think I've got gold, so I could maybe buy something, but for right now I don't care to do that. Let's go to Petty Magic, and let's just pick, let's see if I can find one magic missile spell. I just realized the numbers up here, Roman numerals in the top right corner. That gives you like the chapter numbers, and I know now that magic is chapter 8. Okay, petty spell. So I need a magic missile. Okay, so page 240, one option here at the very bottom is labeled as this is a magic missile with a damage of +0. So whatever the success level is would probably be the damage I deal. And again, my brain is melting. I don't know what success level is. Range is willpower in yards. Target one creature. Great. Let's find another magic missile. Maybe there's not. Which I'm fine with. I think, especially for petty magic, like I'm fine with a simple magic system where like this spell is damage, and then there's all the utility spells. Okay, so let's go alphabetical. Animal Friend, Bearings, Dazzle, Careful Step, Conserve, Dart, Drain, Eavesdrop, Gust Light, Magic Flame, Marsh Lights, Murmured Whisper, Open Lock, Produce Small Animal, Protection from Rain, Purify Water, Rot, Sleep, Spring, Shock. Ooh, your target receives one stunned condition. I don't know what those are, but that's cool. Twitch sound. Okay, so that is the only damaging one. So I like that. Okay, great. So there's a cantrip, and I forget what CN stands for in the book, but these are all 0, so I'm pretty sure they're free to cast. So you always have a damage dealing cantrip, which is great. All right, then there's arcane spells, which I guess I don't care. Do I learn arcane later? Arcane magic. Yes, that's a talent that I get next. And then, all right, talents, arcane magic, talents, dual wielder, instinctive, magical sense, menacing, talents, combat aware, frightening iron. So I'm not sure when my school of magic comes in, but for just getting started, I don't really care. And that I could find, I bet you, pretty easily. Okay, so weapons. Here we go. My dagger, that's all I've got. Maybe I'll buy armor. That's just damage reducing. Psychology was optional. Corruption, maybe important, don't care. I have 11 hit points. I know how to deal damage. I know how to cast spells, barring I learn the success level. All right, so I had a glitch with this. So normally I start a timer. Shame on me, I didn't start a timer. But I bet we're at about an hour and a half in making this. So way too long. However, I could see how a second run through would be much faster. Same with Mithras. I definitely shave at least a half hour off on that. But kudos to Warhammer Fantasy here. I'm not like wanting to gouge my eyes out. I am getting tired, but it's 12 o'clock. But only a hand... no, I can't think of a time where if I actually read what I needed, read the full paragraph, read the full page in order, that I couldn't find something. So kudos to Warhammer Fantasy. I will not be selling this. Will it ever come to my table? I don't think so, but I like it. I like it. I want to play it. We'll leave it at there. We'll leave it at that. All right. Well, very cool. Very interesting. I cannot believe that I did it. I guess more or less. Following the footsteps of Mithras, I thought for sure like I was dreading it. We'll say that. So, all right. That ends another episode of Roll Around, Find Out. Keep being creative, and we'll see you in the next episode. Later.